Kayode Damali. Do you remember him from Crew? He was a star on the series back in 2018, and he is with me this morning. Morning, Kayode.
Morning, John. How are we doing?
Oh, lovely to hear your voice. We love him, don't we? We love him. Listen, if you don't remember him, what's wrong with you? But here's a little montage of him on the show.
I describe myself as a very bubbly, fun guy. Not a mushroom, but a fun guy. When it comes to business, I don't just grab the ball by the horn. I put him in a headlock.
Kayode, great character, great talker. He was very motivational.
It was a pure joy to watch Kayode sell because he was so upfront. He had no shame or embarrassment about going up to people.
3 donuts left, and guess how many of you there are? Oh, she wins the maths competition, high five.
And he had a great patter, a great way about him. He was a friendly, unassuming, wonderful guy.
Oh, how does that make you feel listening to that back?
Yeah, it makes me smile. It's especially coming from the likes of Lord Sugar and Claude, like, you know, the caliber they're on. It's just great to hear, really.
What a magic experience it must have been for you. How did it change your life?
You know what it is? It's not necessarily life-changing. It's definitely giving me more exposure and makes me feel like the path I'm heading on is the right one, if that makes sense. I wouldn't say it's changed my life drastically right now, but it's definitely put me on a better trajectory, I would say.
What are your favourite memories from being on it 3 years ago?
Favourite memories? Oh, you're hitting me this morning, John. To be fair, like, I think I heard some of the rapping bits and like the EST bits. It's just those little bits of camera that I like, to be fair. It's like, it made me laugh. I don't know who was that rapping at the beginning. Was that one of the candidates?
Yeah, one of the candidates. Those videos.
Yeah, it's little things like that.
So you know when you do those little introductions and those bits about yourself, do you do those once you know you're on it, or are they bits to try and get you on it?
Yeah, so I think that depending on which ones they were on the audition, you have to do a piece to camera. So that's that. But then during the show, like, you got, so for example, my ball. What did I say? I don't grab the ball by the horns. I put him in a headlock and squeeze. Yeah. That was when I was actually on. If that makes sense. It depends. It all depends. Like, it varies.
And did you have a good long think and sort of script something before you auditioned?
Because you know what it is, Sean? As a speaker anyway, I've got things I say. So I kind of know my bars, as I like to say, what I want to say. So I didn't necessarily need to, oh my God, I didn't go to the camera like, oh my God, what I'm going to say. I already know, for example, one of my intros, I say, my name's Kayode Damali, I'm my mum and dad's son. That's just, so I would say something like that because I already know my lines.
Do you think, all that greatest and fastest and all that, do you think that some people are doing that for show, to get on the show, or do you think some people who go on it are just a little bit different, shall we say?
I don't blame people for doing that, like the grade test. Like, to be fair, when I went to a marketing seminar, they taught when you do a strapline, you should always end in EST. So you do your headline and the strapline is always something EST. So I can see where that person might get it from. But I don't blame them. You do what you got to do. I mean, it worked for him, right? Was that him or her who did that? We got them on the show, so like, it worked for them. Yeah,
absolutely. It's worked. It's got them a bit of exposure. And what can you do with that? I mean, you pick up a load of sort of social media followers, don't you, after it usually? And what can you do with the sort of, you said it increased your exposure. What can you do with it?
I think it's always, in hindsight's 2020. If I was to go back on a show now with what I know now, I'll approach it completely differently. But it's all about utilizing what you want to. If those people have a clearer picture, John, on what they want to do afterwards, have a greater chance of capitalizing better. And one thing I also found is that it's better to have a product or productized service rather than a service outright, because you can scale it better. So it all depends specifically on what people want to do afterwards. And I think sometimes you can feel like a deer in the headlights with all the attention, definitely.
What was I know you didn't want to reveal it at the time, but what did you go in it thinking to get the investment for?
I didn't want to reveal it at the time. I still don't reveal it now, John, because it's you know what it is, John? It's because unless I'm doing it, I'm sure you've got thousands of listeners. Next thing you know, I can say it on BBC Radio Stoke. I can go on tomorrow and then someone's doing it. So until I'm ready to put it out there, because I've got the business plan written, it's not going to be revealed yet.
To be fair, it was for me and Matt We're severely underpaid.
I'll just
here.
use you.
Yeah, and
I'll send you a DM. I'll DM both of you maybe.
we're just one show away from a sacking every single day, really. So
yeah, we could do with it. We're like the Dragon's Den of BBC Radio Stoke. We just do with your ideas.
Our boss Anne, any moment, could give us that pointy finger and a quick "you're fired."
You're fired.
You're fired. Just for some of the things we've said so far this morning. So you're keeping that close to your chest. Are you still doing the sort of motivational speaker type stuff, Kayode?
Yes, I'm still, so not just motivational speaking. Speaking's sort of like the umbrella term, but like hosting shows, presenting.
Yeah.
So there is motivational aspects if it is at schools, colleges, for example, where it's more workshop based. But yeah, I definitely still do speaking. And with that business plan, it's not necessarily something I want to keep close to my chest. It's something I've had to adapt over time. So it will be something not necessarily exact same. Back in 2018, because times change. That's what 4 years on, like the market changes.
I just thought you
something similar I would be bringing up.
I just thought you were so good at selling the donuts. Claude doesn't like anyone, but he liked you. He was like a proud parent or something. You know, like I just thought you were amazing at selling stuff.
Yes, that's maybe coming from my speaking and my ability to engage with the public. And something I love to do. Like I'll never forget that day. I think we're at, was it Waterloo in London or wherever we were? And yeah, I just had a field day. That was probably my favourite task. I think the task 3 out of the 7 I was in. Yeah, that was great.
And are those, you know, when they get a phone call and someone runs downstairs in designer underwear and answers the phone and Lord Sugar will be sending a car in 20 minutes. Is that real? Do you really have to get ready in a rush like that with a hangover?
Oh yeah, with a hangover. I mean, I don't know. We had a strict no alcohol policy, but if someone was hungover, I don't know. But yeah, that is real, John. Yeah, that's definitely real, and it's even more intense in it than you see on the camera because you're not seeing the rush to the bathroom or people trying to, you know, or the camera's in your face and you're trying to brush your hair. Like you're not seeing that. But yeah, it's definitely real. It's definitely real. Imagine you, John, waking up this morning, but with a camera in your face. Do you get what I mean? It's like you can have dribble and coming down your lip, and you got to be careful, you know.
Yeah, I have to sometimes do the odd interview on Zoom now, and I literally have got toothpaste on my face right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing, and I'm wearing jogging bottoms and a hoodie. So
how are you doing radio? Yeah,
exactly, mate. You got it. Don't have to get ready for radio. You just literally get dressed in the dark, and away you go. Right. So you're going to be watching this series, will you? You're a fan of the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do boxing on a Thursday night, so I've got to miss my boxing for this. So it better be a big knockout, put it that way.
And will you be sort of commenting on it live through the show? I know you've done that in previous series.
Yeah, you know, I never intentionally intend to be tweeting throughout, but you just get into it, don't you? It's just like, you're just, you know, saying what you feel like, oh, da-da-da, and then, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. And how do we keep up to date with what you're up to, Kayode?
Yeah, just follow me on social media. So it's always my full name at Kayode Damali on LinkedIn. My full name, Kayode Damali. And yeah, that's probably the best way to keep a track of me.
We love having you on the show.
Yeah.
Can you keep up to date with us, Kayode? And through the series, we'll get you back on?
Yeah, definitely. Like BBC Radio Stoke, you guys were like my first ever BBC Radio interview back in 2015.
Kayode,
I think
we love you.
Yeah, so definitely.
Top man. Cheers, Kayode.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Matt.
Yay. We like him, don't we?
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
Infectious smile. The most infectious smile we've ever had in the studio.
Just a brilliant smile. Yeah. I remember when Richie Anderson from BBC Radio 2, I'm not sure who they are, but he's been on the One Show. He was on the One Show this week.
He was on the Weakest Link last week.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. So he went out with Kayode to Hanley Indoor Market. Do you remember?
I remember that,
To go and try and sell stuff.
They were selling wool from the wool
That's
store.
it, yeah. And, well, they've never really done anything, have they, the pair of them? And look at us. Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
It's the other way around.
It's the wrong way around.
We've stood still.